As a kid growing up in the 2000s, the wrestling world in December every year was all about Armageddon. It was funny because despite it being Christmas time in the real world, all jolly, happy, snow everywhere and good vibes, every December in the WWE, it was the total opposite. It was death, destruction, darkness, the world is ending, the end is near, we're setting people on fire, people are getting sent to hell. It was Armageddon. But that all changed in December of 2009 when they replaced Armageddon with WWE TLC. And for the past 16 years of my life, I always looked at TLC events from the past as just filler, whatever, pay-per-views. But guys, some of these TLC events make no fucking sense whatsoever. We begin with the first ever TLC event from 2009, and on the surface, this was a pretty good show to start off TLC lore. The purpose of this show was going to be similar to Extreme Rules. We were going to get ladder matches, table matches, TLC matches. We were going to get exactly what was advertised. And the first match in TLC event history was a certified banger, Christian versus Shelton Benjamin for the ECW title in a ladder match. The amount of punishment that these two men went through for the 2009 ECW championship is wild. Basically died for a hot dog and gas money, but blood was shed and damage was done. And there's this one spot, right, where Christian was hanging onto the title looking like Jeff Hardy in 2001 dangling, and Shelton just comes up, grabs him and power bombs him onto the ladder on the apron, and you can just see Christian's soul leave his body. Just look at his face. He's like, I want to go home. A truly fantastic ladder match though. Did Christian look like he survived the Vietnam War by the end of it? Yes, but a great way to start the history of this life-changing event. I think when most people think of TLC 2009, which I don't think many people do, but when they do, what everyone remembers is a tables match between Cena and Sheamus. The match where I don't think anyone ever expected Sheamus to walk out champion, but he did. The main event on this night was Jericho versus DX in a TLC match. Now, despite the fact that Big Show, for some reason, was in a TLC match, this was also a really fun match. This was different than the average TLC match at the point. It was brutal in its own way. Yeah, these 40-year-old men weren't gonna go out there like the Hardys, but they did their best. And you know, Big Show took some bumps here. He was working, but imagine if Big Show fell from the top of the ladder. San Antonio, Texas would have became Hiroshima real quick on this night. Great match with a great ending that had Jericho getting cooked. I still don't know how Jericho didn't destroy his face after this landing, but still, the first TLC event was pretty solid, right? It made sense, everything fit, a tables match, ladder match, TLC match, we got everything. But that wasn't enough for Vince McMahon apparently. We need a chairs match, goddamn. What in the blue hell is a chairs match? See, mixed in with everything I mentioned, what people often forget is the world title was also on the line at TLC 09 when The Undertaker took on Batista. These two men at this point had so many classics in 07. Hell in a Cell, cage match, last man standing match, my mom on a pole match, and they were finally running it back, but this time in the first ever chairs match. So you mean they had a normal no DQ match, Pav? No. That would have made too much sense, little Timmy. Just because the name of the show was TLC, they decided to run a chairs match. These Einsteins at the WWE decided to have a match where only chairs were allowed. No tables, no ladders, no belts, no trash cans. No. It's a chairs match. You could only use chairs. And to this day, I just want to know the one person, who was the one person that heard this in 09 and was like, holy shit, they're having a chairs match, I gotta order the show. Even as an 11-year-old, I heard this and I thought this was so silly. Chairs are weapons unlike tables, ladders, canes, whatever, that are probably used every single week on wrestling TV. Who the f was clamoring for a chairs match? A chairs match that had countouts. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this chairs match had countouts. Hey guys, feel free to kill each other with chairs, give each other all the CT you want, but y'all got a 10 count. You better respect the... Why did this match have countouts? But yo, that's whatever. The stupidest part about this match was the ending. So after wrestling for 15 minutes and just seeing these two men being so confused on what the hell to do with chairs for 15 minutes, Batista hit the Undertaker with a low blow. He then hit him with a chair shot, a pretty vicious chair shot all things considered, and got the 1-2-3. It was pretty boring, but luckily it was over, right? No, because why would we stop there? Let's just really make this brain dead. Teddy Long comes out and says, Batista player, using chairs was fine, but using the low blow was just dirty. I ordered this match restart. The match gets restarted because Batista low blowed the Undertaker. The 100 chair shots were fine. Choking him, breaking his back. Whoa, sounds like a fun name. That was fine. Giving him concussion after concussion was fine. But the low blow, oh no, the match restarts. Batista rolls in there, eats the quickest tombstone you'll ever see. 1, 2, 3. And all I gotta say is, how the hell do you get DQ'd in a match called a chairs match? Listen, I get it. I have solid reading comprehension. I know that the pay-per-view is called TLC. I know what the C stands for. But was this needed? Every time I think of this, I'm just in shock that they actually ran it. This left the creative meeting and they're like, yeah, let's do a chairs match with countouts and disqualifications. Riveting. Just what we needed. We then move on to the next year's show, TLC 2010. Now this is a weird show because other than the main event, I didn't remember anything from the show. The main event was the infamous conclusion to the Nexus vs Cena storyline where Cena took on Wade Barrett in a chairs match. Of course. Poor guy got absolutely cooked in that match, but hey, a solid ending for a chairs match, all things considered. That's all I remembered from this show. So imagine my reaction when I found out that the co-main event on this night was Edge versus Kane versus Del Rio versus Rey Mysterio in a fatal 4-way TLC match for the world title. And guys, my jaw was on the floor because this match slapped. I have never heard anyone talk about this match in my life. Never seen a clip from this match. I've never heard a whisper about this match. I haven't even seen a picture from this match. I didn't even know that this ever happened. But this match is genuinely amazing. Edge, just 4 months before retiring with his neck barely working, just duct tapes and prayers, put on a masterclass. This was a straight up demolition derby. Bodies were destroyed, they were doing some insane bumps. Rey Mysterio was moving out here like 1996. Edge was doing stuff he probably should have not been doing. The 619 into the spear spot is so nice. Face buster from the top of the ladder. Ricardo Rodriguez trying to win the title. This was so good, and I genuinely had zero memory of it, no recollection whatsoever. This match got a 4.25 stars from Meltzer. Just the fact that we even got a fatal 4-way TLC match for the world title sounds like something straight out of a video game. Are we sure this actually happened, or was it just from like SVR 11 Road to WrestleMania? I'm gonna say this is the most underrated match I've found doing YouTube for the past 7 years of my life. A 4-way TLC match with insane spots. They were fighting on the stage. Edge was risking paralysis. This was great, and it was on TLC 2010 of all shows. And that wasn't the only match on this night that blew me away. John Morrison and Sheamus had a ladder match on this night, and by the end of it, I wanted to build a time machine to go back in time so I could make John Morrison somehow the world champion. How was this man not world champion? Yo, these two went crazy. John Morrison has legacy on the line. Sheamus was doing his thing. This is one of the most creative matches I've ever seen. And once again, it's on TLC 2010 of all shows. For 15 years, the only thing I remember from this show was this. Meanwhile, casually on the underground, this is going down. Hidden gems for sure. I can't wait for the comments to be like, how do you not know those two matches, Pav? Are you stupid? Are you this? If that's the case, if I'm the only idiot that didn't know about these matches, you know what? My bad, I'm not a connoisseur of TLC 2010, okay? But moving on to TLC 2011, this is where the fun starts. TLC 2011 is often remembered for one thing, Daniel Bryan cashing in his Money in the Bank and becoming world champion for the first time after Big Show and Mark Henry had a stinky chairs match. Of course they did. The crowd went nuts, the dynamic with Michael Cole, the emotion, everything. It was a perfect moment, an amazing moment that really catapulted Bryan and made TLC 2011 memorable. But you know what else went down at TLC 2011? Why the fuck did Kevin Nash take on Triple H in a suspended sledgehammer ladder match? Yo, these Einsteins at the WWE booked two men who were known for injuring their quads and every other muscle in their body with a combined age of 94 years old in a ladder match on pay-per-view. Who the hell thought this was a good idea? Triple H, all I gotta say is, you're not HBK, pal. Listen, I love Kevin Nash, but Kevin Nash at this point could barely move. Triple H, listen, there is no need for him to ever be in a singles ladder match post 2002. And these two snails for 20 minutes, they just laid there. I don't even know what else to tell you. This was Kevin Nash's first ladder match in his 20+ year career, by the way. I wonder why. So in this masterpiece, they barely climbed the ladder. I don't think Kevin Nash could have climbed the ladder more than once. This was a 52-year-old man with like 90 knee surgeries. This man's knees were more cooked than Derrick Rose's knees. This was also a man who was 7 foot tall. Why was he in a ladder match in the first place? I guarantee you that Nash did not want to be in a ladder match. Triple H, this is supposed to be your boy. Why did you put him through this? They tried their best, okay, I get it, but once again, why? And just look how stupid the sledgehammer looked being suspended in the air. Why did they have a senior citizen fighting for a hanging sledgehammer? And the best part was about this match, it didn't end when Triple H, got the hammer. No. Why would we do that? The match went on for another 5 minutes just so we could see triple fraud or a farm with the sledgehammer as Nash begged him not to hit him. How do we go from the Summer of Punk to Triple H beating CM Punk to this shit? Listen guys, I get it, it's TLC, but suspended sledgehammer ladder match with these two? Just have your no holds barred match and call it a day, Trips. What a stupid ass stipulation. Like at one point, Nash literally went under the ring to get a table. You're telling me there was no sledgehammer there? You're telling me for the first time in 20 years, they took out the one and only sledgehammer and just hung it up in the arena? Pedigrees were barely being hit, and of course the match ends with some stupid click drama. Once again, I ask, Why the fuck was a 52-year-old Kevin Nash in a ladder match against Triple H of all people? The game was gone, lads. Moving on though, let's skip to TLC 2013, which featured a main event that also, for different reasons, always made me laugh. Now disclaimer, this wasn't a bad match, not at all, it's actually a pretty solid match. But to me, it's always been a funny match. The main event of the 2013 show was Randy Orton versus John Cena in a TLC match for the Undisputed World Championship. I had no idea that these two championships were disputed. I always found this match hilarious because it was built up like this epic showdown of the ages. Like the promo videos leading up to this were all 50 years in the making, two championships finally being brought together, once in a lifetime. History will be so dramatic, so extra. They did everything they could to make it seem like the biggest match ever was going down, and I was like, it's happening at a TLC show. We know this doesn't mean anything. They were out here talking about the 1960s and Lou Thesz and how it all led to this. Bro, they're about to have a TLC match. If Lou Thesz knew this was going down, he would have shot himself. It was a fine match, all things considered. It's just funny to me. It's like Cena versus Orton in a TLC match. It's a polar bear in Texas. It just doesn't fit. And it's like, of course, after all this build-up, it ends with Cena missing the landing and just dying there, just laying there and knocked out. Not a bad match, a pretty solid match. It's just, I don't know, for some reason this has always been funny to me. Yeah, the most important match ever. Yeah, at TLC 2013, I'm sure. Well, you know what else was a meme, guys? TLC 2014. This is easily the most boring, worst show I have probably ever watched in my whole YouTube career while making videos. Not only was the main event a TLC match with nothing on the line, absolutely nothing on the line. There was nothing dangling in the arena. They should have just put the sledgehammer back at this point. The main event ended with a sparkling monitor, and if that wasn't enough, the show also had riveting matches such as Kane versus Ryback in an amazing chairs match. But what made this show even more stupid was TLC wasn't even the full name of the show this year. No. Apparently TLC wasn't enough. Ladies and gentlemen, this event was officially titled WWE TLC Tables, Ladders, and Chairs and Stairs 2014. We had completely lost the plot at this point. They changed the entire name of this show just so they could do a stairs match. And out of every two wrestlers on God's green earth they chose for this amazing stairs match, they booked The Big Show and Eric Rowan. Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort. You know what? This was amazing. All right, they did a whole promo trying to convince us that the steel steps were actually 275 pounds, and then you had these two bozos having a stairs match. Rowan looked like a karate teacher, Sensei Rowan out here. Big Show was the Big Show, clumsy as ever, just existing. It really felt like we were watching two grown men playing with Legos. Two men who could barely move, by the way, had an 11-minute long stairs match. To this day, I will never understand why they felt the need to add a stairs match, change the name of the show. Absolutely horrendous show. You know how bad this show was? Oh, listen to this. The co-main event on this night was Rusev versus Jack Swagger. You want to talk about trenches? I don't know how I remained a wrestling fan after this shit. A stairs match. Of course the Big Show was in it. As the years went on, the 2015 and 16 shows were pretty solid, especially 2016, which is often remembered for AJ Styles versus Dean Ambrose in a TLC match for the title. An incredible match, and it was also the match where AJ Styles ripped his pants.
When I ripped my pants.
However, that did not stop him from tweaking, and we got a classic all things considered. But let's talk about the legendary TLC 2017. What a show. The main event of this show was planned to be the Shield reuniting and taking on basically the entire roster. It was going to be the Shield against Braun Strowman, Kane, Cesaro, Sheamus, The Miz, my grandma, a 3v99 handicap TLC match, because why not? Now, people were pretty excited for this match, as much as you can be for a December 2017 match in the company. It was going to be solid, but just a few days before the show, everything got cooked. It was announced that Roman Reigns had gotten the mumps, and just one day before the show, the main event was in jeopardy. Now, the company had two options. Either they were going to run it as a 5v2 handicap match, which could have worked because it's fake, or replace Roman with someone else. Now, the issue was the 2017 roster at this point was really lacking star power, but for some reason Vince wanted to tweak. And why not tweak at TLC 2017 of all shows? Kurt Angle replaced Roman Reigns. Kurt Angle, who had not wrestled in the company for 11 years, 11 long years at that point, whose body was so cooked that the last thing he should have been doing was a TLC match, was back for the love of the game. So with the heels in the ring, with the Shield music playing, Kurt Angle, the Olympic gold medalist, pulled up, barely being able to move his neck, with the goofiest smile on his face just because he was happy to be there, and with the Shield outfit on, he did his thing. Angle was back wrestling in the WWE for the first time in 11 years at TLC of all shows. This is one of the most overbooked, most random matches of all time, but who cares? It's Kurt Angle back at it, and these men did their best. Poor Kurt was tired like 4 minutes into it, but it was fine. He wasn't gonna go out sad. Rollins and Ambrose made it their mission to go crazy. Angle was dropping German suplexes. I still don't know how he's able to move, and they did the amazing spot where eventually Angle got destroyed. He got banged in, he got clapped, the medical team came out and took him out to the back, and it became a 5v2 handicap match. Next thing you know, I don't even know, everything just hit the fan. The heels turned on each other, the stage was destroyed, a garbage truck was brought out, it got nuts. But after the old man in backstage got a little water break and God knows what else, guess who was back? Angle's music hit, the crowd went crazy, holding his ribs and all, looking so frail and so cooked, but he didn't give a fuck. Kurt Angle at 49 years old went in there with a broken freaking neck basically, and for one night went in prime Angle mode again. Bodies were dropping, Angle slams were hitting, tables were being broken, Kurt Angle was back in the cut with his Shield outfit on, and it was beautiful. This will always be such a funny random memory to me. Roman Reigns gets the mumps, Kurt Angle wrestles his first match in the company in 11 years. The pay-per-view poster, by the way, advertises 2003 Kurt Angle. He pulls up like this, wearing his Shield outfit with his goofy ass smile. Perfectly fine, no problem, gets his ass beat, it looks like he's about to die from dehydration, and then comes back like he's Captain America. To simply put it, what a time to be alive. And once again, of course this happened at TLC of all shows. TLC for the next few years was pretty much whatever. When one of your big matches is Bray Wyatt versus The Miz, it's pretty much wraps. But what's so funny to me is the last match we ever got at TLC. So after 11 years of TLC history, you would assume that the last match at TLC was probably a TLC match, right? No. Okay, was it a ladder match? No. Was it a chairs match? No. Suspended sledgehammer ladder match? No. Was it a stairs match? No. Of course, the last ever match in TLC event history was an Inferno match. Of course, why not? Because when I think of tables, ladders, and chairs, I think of fire. Why did they name the 2020 edition tables, ladders, chairs, and fire? I will never know. Now, this event was hilarious. Just 11 years of the most random things happening, but because it was the last pay-per-view of the year, because it was technically a filler pay-per-view, most of the time we just let it slide and just moved on. But when you really look at it, they were losing their mind almost every year. I don't get it. What was it? Was it because it was always the end of the year? So it's like, yeah, it's the end of the year. Let's just set a dummy on fire. Let's just have a stairs match. Let's put Kevin Nash, 52 years old, in a ladder match for some reason. What was it that at the end of the year for TLC, for some reason, they would always just lose their marbles a little bit? Roman Reigns has a mumps pal? Screw it, bring back Kurt Angle. Sir, don't you want to wait till No, I don't want to wait till WrestleMania. I want him at TLC, damn it. I just find it hilarious, and I just had to talk about it this year because I know nobody else ever would. It's such a random topic, such a random thing to look into, but I just had to do it. It's your boy Pav, aka Wrestling Gives. Hope you guys enjoy this trip down memory lane of TLC events. Just consider this my little Christmas gift to you. I will see you guys very soon with the next one, rebooking John Cena's retirement tour coming ASAP. Until then though, take it easy, stay safe out there, happy holidays and Merry Christmas. I will see you guys very soon. Later guys.